Hi everyone, MJ here. You all right? It's nice to see you on Taiwan Live TV. Excuse me, we're at the iconic barbecue place. If you look at the YouTube thumbnail, it's kind of unusual. Hey, Patty, long time no see. Fist bump to you. How you doing? Wow, it's been a long time. Thanks for joining. My goodness, yeah. Keep track of you on Instagram, but it's nice to see you here on Periscope. What's like the last days of Periscope here? So anyway, I don't need my mask. I just got it on for just general operating principles here. Now, what I did was I showed this on my stream. Yeah, thank you very much. On the stream, right? We had on the thumbnail, right? I took this picture, and I'm gonna show it to you right now. This is a picture of a hole because it's where the tree used to be. If you guys remember that, probably the most famous example or famous use of that tree was the prank that we did when Jevons was here and John Ho. And I got to tell you, there were a bunch of guys using chainsaws, and I don't think they knew what they were doing too good. And I got to tell you, I turned my head. I went inside the building. I thought I was going to hear screaming and people running, you know, carrying cut off limbs and stuff. But fortunately, nothing happened. I had a big crane up there yesterday. And let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and add those pictures to the media. These are pictures that I took yesterday, and I'm going to add all these right now. So the first thing is they, in my neighborhood, I'm right where yeah, tree grows out. Trees grow everywhere. This is a very jungle-oriented place. Stuff grows in my carport on the dirt that the wind blows up against the wall. It's hard to make stuff not grow here. Ken, how you doing? Hey, Jan, finally. Ken, fist bump to you, fist bump to you, Jan. Yeah, finally you caught us live. Great. We just started this a few minutes ago, so excellent. This is the place that I'm at right now. That's the corner. If you see those lanterns, you see, in the entrance, and you see the cooler there, you know, with the sliding door and stuff, that's those lanterns right there, and that's that cooler right over there, okay? So now you know where we are. So they cut the tree down, and this is a shot of them up on the thing. It's a little bit out of focus, but they had the crane attached to the tree, right? And then this might be a little bit better shot. There you go. And so you see the deep fried chicken picture, you know, I mean a sign. And then inside, this is what it looks like right over here, what I showed you a minute ago, right? The tree was growing up there. And if you look closely, let me see if I can zoom in on this. If you look closely, the tree has like a spiral around it because it used to have those LED lights wrapped on it. Remember, if you look at the old, you know, the old streams I used to do here, even from broadcast back in the old days before the barbecue place was here, when this was just a coffee shop, that tree had a spiral LED strip on it, and it was blinking. It was really cool, but the tree died and it went rotten. And so, hey, Rob, fist bump to you. Yeah, thank you for joining us. And so then I got another picture of Wenwen, and Wenwen's up there with the guy. See the guy with the chainsaw and stuff? And there's Wenwen. Wenwen sees me across the street taking her picture, so she starts laughing. Ah, that was cool. That was fun. So anyway, that's what went on here. And so they cut the tree out, and then what's left is this hole. And they got, I don't know what that is. I really don't know. I didn't look. Looks like it's bags of chemicals. They're probably looks like they're trying to dig it down and get it out enough that they can concrete over it. And then they're going to put the tiles back on. Because here's what's going to happen. This whole thing is going to change. You know, Wenwen's next door, right? You know what? When I give you guys my email address, right, and I have it in front of Wenwen's, the picture window there, that window is gone. I mean, it's not gone yet. This is like the third week in March, and by May 1st, she's going to be here in this building, and this whole thing is going to be changed. They're going to take this wall down. Let me show you. I'm going to handhold this. This is a sliding plastic like wind screen. You see there's a channel up there, so this is like an accordion windscreen. You guys have seen this, and this can slide open. They cut the wall down. This is all going to be taken down. Probably this roof will be replaced because it does have a hole in it where the tree was growing, and they're going to redo this whole thing and do this, this cooking area and stuff. It's all going to be different. And the place next door is where that picture window is, the famous one that I've been stringing from for, 6 years. So they're all coming over here. I don't know what they're going to do on the inside, but this whole thing is going to be completely different. And the boss here at this, get my hair here, of this little barbecue place has another room behind on the next block, and it's big. It's like a 2-car garage. And he said he already has a refrigerator. He already has the slide open cooler for the food. So he's all set to go. And I asked him, "Thank you, I appreciate it. I've been trying to wax it and make it look like I care about how I look." But thank you. So I've got to listen. As a side note, I realize I have a lot of hair for a 65-year-old guy, so I'm kind of like, yeah, showing it off. So, well, it doesn't matter if they keep the iconic window, Ken, because they're not going to occupy that building anymore. You see what I mean? And the problem is there was a Thai place next to that. You guys remember that place called Long Thai? I used to go there a long time ago, and last time, when all the scopers were here in 2018, we all went over there, we ate, and that's where JL impressed the boss lady. They're gone too. But they moved on the end of my street down there, which is even more convenient. I don't have to ride my bike. I walk just 100 meters, and I'm there. But the point is, they're putting the Jawawa, the claw machines, in over there. So they might put them in here. There's something going on. My guess is, I don't think it's a coincidence that Wenwen, who is an astute businesswoman and owns at least 3 businesses that I know of, that Wenwen and the Long Thai boss lady would both move out because those buildings are side by side. This here is a separate standalone building. When I first came here, the original Xiaohui's was in this old building, and they knocked it down and rebuilt it. This is a brand new purpose-built house that somebody lived in for like 10 years, and then they got sick of it and sold it. And Wenwen bought it and turned it into a coffee shop and karaoke rooms and stuff. So I don't know what's going to happen. I think they're just, I think that the bosses, the landlords, I think they're just messing up. What they do is they realize that people are making money, and so they raise the rent because they think they can get it. And people like Wenwen there's nothing special about that place. It's a kitchen, a dining room, a couple of rooms upstairs. They put some sofas in. They put karaoke machines in. They own the karaoke machines. They own the sofas. They're going to take all their furniture. They're going to take all their dishes and everything, just move them over here. They can move in one day. So the landlords are really shooting themselves in the foot if that's what's going on. And I may be wrong, and I'm, being accusatory, but I've seen this a bunch of times. And even Dennis, on the bar over there, did the same thing. So this Jawawa thing is, it's crazy. But this boss man here, he's got a really, really nice room that he showed me yesterday. I'm considering, consider moving my studio very, very close to my house. A very convenient room and a really good size. So I'm gonna think about it. There's a lot to weigh, but over the coming weeks, this is gonna affect, you know, my show and what we do, because I like to go to these different places, right? But anyway, the new place over there, I've got an open invitation to live stream in his new place anytime we want. The other thing too is big enough that if you want to have a party and have like a mini concert or a live show, we can easily do that, which is something that he's very open to doing, as long as it's like during the day on the weekend. This is the same boss that told me I could bring my guitar down here, you know, in the evening and play like up to about 10:30. So I haven't done it recently because I'm coming on too late. So we'll see what happens. But it's really funny because next door. Sorry, I was translating Gabi to Gabi Chinese. Next door where the Long Thai is, they have the claw machines inside, but there's Thai menu words, Thai writing, you know, Thai food menu words on the doors. It's hilarious. So somebody might go ahead, it's a Thai place. I'm not pay particular attention about the inside. And then go try to order some food and find out it's claw machines. But the good news is the Long Thai lady's still in business. She got some good food. It's really cheap. Like I said, it's down the end of my block. Now, the Long Thai food, just to give you an idea, economy of scale, like meat dishes are 100 NT, and vegetable dishes are 60 NT. Now 30 NT is $1. So vegetable dishes are $2 and meat dishes are $3 US. I mean, come on. And so, I'll give you another example. I usually don't drink bourbon, and you know me, I'm eclectic. I don't categorically say, okay, I hate bourbon, so I don't drink any bourbon. I generally don't like bourbon, but there's one or two. This is a bourbon that I found that's dirt cheap, Rangers. It's actually pretty good. It's Kentucky bourbon. This is 265 NT. So, 200 NT, well, that's 100 NT is $3. 200 NT would be $6. And 65 NT would be about $8 US for a 40% 700 milliliter bottle of bourbon. And it's actually, I think it's better than Jim Beam. That's my opinion. So you're starting to see the economy of scale. If you had 20 bucks, you can get a bottle of liquor, you can get, some mixers, some drinks, whatever you want, and you can cover the table with dishes. You could have a feast and pass out for the rest of the afternoon, and you just, hard to do that in other places. Now, how's everybody doing? I got another economy of scale story too. Throughout my travels from Taiwan, I'm from Taiwan. Thank you. It's okay. Spacing out on your name. There you go. Thank you. I'm waxing my hair and combing it back because I still have a lot left. Then I got some broccoli, and I've got the hot peppers on it. Got one of my favorites, deep fried mushrooms. These are the dark ones, kind of like black mushrooms. Listen to Rob. Well, I like it better, but I'm going to be honest with you, Rob. Part of the reason I got better is the price. So these dark mushrooms I like a lot. And then we got our bacon wraps with the green beans. Didn't bring the boozy sauce tonight. But, you know, talking about the economy of scale, living in Taiwan and using Taiwan as a hub, I've traveled to many countries around Asia, you know, and it never used to cease to amaze me how supposedly poor people have it off. I like fried mushrooms too. Poor people, I mean, they have their, I mean, I'm trying to say they're well off in a lot of respects. More, you know, more so than you would think. Give you an example. I was in Thailand, in Khon Kaen, in a village, and I was with a guy. Remember we talked about him before. This guy was an engineer in Oak Ridge, and you know, the nuclear facility. He's an engineer there, 25 years old. He's spoken directly to two U.S. presidents. This is a guy who's testified before Congress. This is a high-level guy. Colby, they got every kind of whiskey you can imagine in Taiwan, and it's significantly cheaper. The store across the street here, I found out they sell teachers. Okay, I'm going to give you the prices in NT dollars. 1 NT dollar, excuse me, 30 NT dollars roughly is like $1 US. They have teachers for $280. They have like Glendronach 12 year for $900. Jura 10 year for $900. I saw so many whiskeys over there that I couldn't believe that would be like 3 times. Coco, how are you? Fist bump to you. Nice to have you with us. Always a pleasure. I had so many over there that I had seen, you know, in other places, but that I would try to get in the United States and to be like, well, Rob, I think I'd mentioned something about the Glendronach 12. I can get it in Taiwan for $30, and Rob paid $75 for it in the U.S. So, but what I want to tell you, I'm walking with this corner office guy, you know, big time, the vice president of operations kind of guy, and we're walking through this village. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday, and there's a guy sitting in a chair in front of his house, and he's passed out and drunk, sitting in a chair, and it's like in the middle of the road. The bottle just dropped beside him. He just drank it until he passed out. He's got 4 kids, and they're running around, and he's, you know, he owns this house. Now, granted, he built it himself, but he, you know, bought the wood and built it how he wanted to. He's got livestock. He's got chickens. The chickens give him, in addition, you know, to breeding and providing meat. Of course, the laying hens, he gets eggs every day, tons of eggs. He's got pigs, and he has a couple of cows. And so I asked this high-level guy, I said, let me ask you a question. With all the, excuse me, with all the assets that you have, can you, being a big boss, vice president of operations at a, you know, multinational $150 million company, can you afford to be drunk? I mean, passed out drunk on the side of the road at 4 o'clock in the afternoon? And he looked at me and said, hell no. I said, I haven't been drunk since I was in college. I said, I can't do it. I said, yeah. I mean, it's amazing how you talk about economy of scale and the differences in things. And I said, this guy's drunk, but he owns his own home. He owns the land. He's got 4 kids. They're well taken care of. I mean, they're running around. The village is safe. There's dogs there. The dogs are protecting them. You know, there's no predators. There's nothing around. They're having a blast playing in the front yard. Daddy's drunk in the front, doesn't matter. Mommy's inside the house. You know, they got motor scooter to go into town. They got enough money to buy whatever they want. I was like, what is going on, man? I never owned any property in the United States. I couldn't afford to buy any. I was too ill. I had medical problems, and because in America, excuse me, in America, you know, healthcare and health insurance is tied to having a job. And if you don't have a job, then you don't have any health insurance. It's like it's a big circle. And so anyway, Coco, how you guys doing? And have you got your jab yet? You know, for the COVID-19. We're still working on ours here, but we just got I just read, was it yesterday or the day before? I forget how many doses. We got, it's not enough. We got some doses that just came in. And they said that they would start to administer them starting tomorrow, so. Excellent. So, yeah, boom. It sounds like. You got shot last week, a week ago. Oh, okay. Wonder what that means, right? It means you guys can come to Taiwan now. What's really funny is you guys are gonna, here in Taiwan, you know, everybody's been, you know, very complimentary and praising the government on how well they handle the coronavirus pandemic, and they should be commended. But everybody in America I know is getting inoculated first before we get it. We're a small country. There's a lot of politics. And somebody has been putting pressure on some of these companies not to give us vaccine. I wonder who that would be. And I wonder what their motivation would be. But speaking of motivation, you guys know I'm not political, but I gotta say this. Because I watch Sky News Australia. This hot pepper powder. And they were saying how the current administration in the United States has taken credit for the COVID-19 vaccine. And they're like, didn't you get a shot before your inauguration? I mean, wasn't there this thing called Operation Warp Speed? I remember the previous administration was severely chastised for taking these risks. But that's a difference between a professional business person and a professional politician. The business person weighs the risks and takes a gamble. And okay, politics aside, somebody who's a billionaire, I would give them my money and say, go ahead, use it and do what you think, you know, okay, yeah, make me some money with it. So I know that would be nice, won't it? Because I know, like, your family doesn't live near you, and even just being able to travel from state to state is difficult. But so I think if you had a billionaire making those decisions, you know, yep. Pretty amazing, though, wasn't it? Yep. And he got criticized for that. But let me ask you a question. Where would you be now if you live in the United States and nobody had done that? If nobody had, you know, cut the red tape for the FDA, because apparently you just invest a lot of money, you know, and that's what you do. Business people, instead of invested $1 million in one thing, they'll invest 100,000 in 10 things. And they'll see, like, as they grow up, which guys are moving. And whichever one shows the promise, oh, that's the one where they dump the rest of the money into that. That's how they do it. So, that's how you do it. So I just had to laugh. Because this is what politicians do. All of them. Not just this one. Engineers do this too. Whenever, a radio station hires a new engineer, the first thing they do is they walk around and go, oh, that was no good, and I shouldn't have done that. And they cut everything down the previous guy did. It is somewhat windy. Can you hear the wind? This stuff here is moving. This accordion thing is moving, but it's not so bad. Boss lady here said it was really cold tonight. The weather's supposed to dip down. It's supposed to drop 10 degrees. So they said it would be like 12, I think, to 15. Not too bad. We're considerably further south than Dave in Osaka, in Japan. So, Coco, I want to ask you: are you still on? Are you doing like a social media blackout where you're just like not on social media? Are you still around, or? Because I've been thinking about deleting most of my social media myself. Oh yeah. Because Wenwen is over here, and I think you know what I mean. Because I think you've seen me do those perspective ones. She's going to move here, and this whole thing here with this. They took the tree out. Okay, cool. Well, be sure and send me a message, okay? I'd appreciate that. I think they're going to redo this. It's like a temporary kind of thing. Just, sheet metal, just beams and sheet metal and stuff. And these are the accordion sliders, for the wind. And she's going to make this whole area in here into a new dining room. And get rid of this over here, which is right now where they're doing the grilling and the deep frying and the food prep, and then there's the ice box. Twitter's kind of a wasteland, though. And so, that's the coffee shop, and you can't see it, but there's a stairwell that goes up to the karaoke rooms, right? And I don't know what she's going to do, but I think I was listening to her the other day, and I couldn't quite understand what she was saying. But, because they were kind of like, kind of a heated discussion. This is going to be part of the outside dining room, I guess, Now, this gentleman here who runs this barbecue thing is going to go, yeah. But his barbecue stuff, this stuff that I'm eating here, is going on the next block, right behind there, literally just around the corner. He's got a nice new room. He really digs what we do. I don't know if you know this. I think I mentioned this to you guys before, that sometimes when I'm live streaming, he's over there with his earbud on. He's watching the live stream as we're doing it, and he's laughing. He thinks it's hilarious. And so he's already invited me, and I got a place over there. And so, in fact, I was just saying before you came on, he's got a room that he showed me that I'm considering, I got to weigh the costs. I may move my studio into that place, that facility, because it looks like it's advantageous. I just got to figure out if I want to do it or not. So, that place is actually as big as a 2-car garage. He's already got the ice box and the I don't know what you call this thing. It's a cooler, you know, for food with the sliding doors. You can pick the food. All that stuff's already over there now. And so he's getting the other gear in. He said they're hooking up the exhaust fans. So he'll be ready to go by the end of this week. So I'll do like an inauguration from over there. And he digs it, so it's cool. Hey, Mike Kelly, how you doing, man? Been a long time. Really, really nice to see you. Thanks, Mike. Rents are extremely reasonable, Rob. For a retiree with a pension, direct deposit, you just go to an ATM, take cash out. They said that this front section that he has, they said was 16,000 NT. So 10,000 NT is 300 bucks. So I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you. Fist bump to you. Hope you can come back and visit soon. It's been a while, huh? Yeah. This is a place to be. So yeah. So 600 is that's 500 bucks, right? A month, you know, including electricity and everything. So. Before I bought the house that I'm in, the house that I live in is 4 floors plus a flat roof. I'll describe it to you. There's one carport on the side. It is. There's a carport on the side with an overhang on it, you know. First floor, living room, kitchen, restroom. Second floor, central restroom, 1 bedroom off to the side, and the other bedroom is a master bedroom. It's considered a master bedroom because there's a door into the bathroom from that one. But there is a door in the hallway. Okay, that's the second floor. The third floor is identical. There are 2 more rooms there. One is a standalone room. Bathroom in this center that's connected by a door to the other room, and the front room that in the front of the house has a section. If you were to look at it from the top, there's a section with windows. You know, you're looking out the windows. It's kind of squared off, and then off to the side there's like an opera window or something like that. So, oh, I know, yeah, I know. Well. Hopefully it will. And hopefully the lessons that Taiwan has to teach will be allowed without prejudice to be taught to the rest of the world. It would definitely benefit the rest of the world. And then the 4th floor is a completely open floor that we built. Actually, a room was built up there where I have my studio in. But there's a 4th floor balcony. Matthew, fist bump to you too. There's a 4th floor balcony, which is really nice. You guys have seen me up there. You've seen me do live streams from there. And then I got the flat roof on top of that. And so when we were renting that room, that house, we rented that whole house for 22,000 NT a month. Now remember, 15,000 NT is 500 bucks, right? And 30,000 NT is 1,000 bucks. So, like 22,000 NT ain't that much money for a 4-story house with 4 bedrooms. I mean, that's crazy. But that's how it is here. So if you wanted to get, let's just say, Rob, you and your wife and your dogs, you could get by with a living room, a kitchen, a dining area, and 2 rooms. You know, one for you and your wife, and a room for guests who want to come over, or if you want to put your exercise bike or something like that. Single floor. You could easily find a room like that for between $400 or $500 a month. And you would probably negotiate it with internet included. You'd have to pay for your electricity. And Taiwan's electricity prices are some of the cheapest in the world, which is a big problem because people waste it all the time. There's been talk of increasing the cost of electricity just so it seems like it's, you know, more expensive so people won't waste it, but that probably won't happen. But when I was living by myself, when I met my wife, I was, you guys know the story? My friend Tony, right? He helped me. But I was renting what we call a Taiwan, which is like a studio apartment. It's it's a bedroom with a restroom. May have a small kitchen area like a sink. Yes. Yes, I did. Well, that's why I mentioned Taiwan. Absolutely. It took me just a split second, but yes. But thanks for mentioning that, Mike. I moved from one Taiwan to another, but it was like one was 5,000 and one was 7,000 a month. So do the math, you know. So what is it? I'm just doing it to make sure because it's ridiculous. Okay, 1,000 is 30, 60, right? 9, 12, 15, $150 a month. $150 a month. I was a single guy. Didn't have anybody living with me. All I needed was a place to sleep, a shower. I think they charged me $10 a month for internet. That is true. I gotta tell you, oh, take care, Ken. You know, I didn't see you say goodbye. I'm sorry. Thank you. Bye bye. I saw Coco say that. I'm sorry. Gosh, I wasn't paying attention. Sorry, Ken. I was looking at houses online in Ilan, which is on the east side of Taiwan. Just if you look at the Taiwan map and you go up around Taipei and at the top and shoot down Highway 5, from my house it's about 2 hours. I'm looking in this area, right? And I was finding houses that were built like between 2012 and now, which isn't that old, right? A house built in 2012, that's not very old at all. Take care, bro. See you, man. Thanks. I found a 4-bedroom house that had a carport, 2-car parking, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a roof, a small yard, and an elevator. For 11 million NT dollars. 1 million NT dollars is 30,000 US dollars. So we're talking about a house like that for about $330,000 US with an elevator. And I looked at the layout and I realized it's got a huge area with a restroom in that could be a working recording studio that could pay just the studio alone. The income for the studio could pay for the whole place. And I'm like, wow. So I'm looking at that too, checking that out. Man, oh man. So, you know, Rob, you might want to think about moving to Elon, man. It is. It just gets more rain. It is crazy cheap. But some of these houses around here, right? Like the place that I just described to Rob, like, you know, for example, I said, you know, just you and your wife and your two puppies, you know, and you say you want a bedroom for yourself and an extra room for other stuff, you know, and wash your clothes area, you know, clothes washing area and kitchen and dining areas and you know, restroom. There's a place like that right down here that my friend Shaman used to live in. And they sold that place for $1 million NT, $30,000. Most Taiwanese have that money in the bank. Bit my lip. Oh, I hate that. Don't you hate when you do stupid stuff on camera? Speaking of which, you guys know how I'm always training Phoenix, right? I know it's incredible. It is. But Rob, you know, I'm really hoping someday that you get a chance to visit, and you know, I mean, one way or another, we're going to meet in person. I'll either come there or you can come here, or both. But I'm hoping you get a chance to visit here, just to see, because I know that you would fall in love with this place, and the people are just incredible, and there's ways to work around the language barrier. But on your pension, you could live like a king. You could have luxuries here that you would never have in a more expensive Western country. Especially where I'm, without getting too personal, but I imagine you probably have equity in your home. And you just cash out. You could buy. If you cashed out the equity in your home, you could buy a place in Taiwan that was so big that you and your wife could live like king and queen, and you could have several rooms that you could rent out and actually have an income. It's nuts, and I've seen it done a lot. The guy next door to me built a house. He did it really cool. Because if you're to look at the house from the side, here's a carport, you know, that comes into the house. It's only halfway. And in the space from there to the other side, he rents out the real estate office on the first floor. So the back of his carport is the real estate office that's facing the main street. And he just goes upstairs, and he's got the second floor, it's where his family room is and stuff, you know, the kitchen stuff. They got the third floor and the fourth floor for the bedrooms. They got a big old flat roof. They go up there and hang out and barbecue. And that real estate office pays the mortgage on the house. I know another lady that told me that her dad owns a piece of property on a major road in Taoyuan City. And a bank is on the first floor. And a bank pays for the guy's whole lifestyle. Doesn't have to work. And I heard something even more crazy. Down in Galveston, there's a boss I know. He has a tobacco shop. And he sells pipes and pipe tobacco stuff. He and I were talking one day. And my friends told me this, and I didn't pay attention to them. I was a young man. I just didn't pay attention. But in 1975, a construction company built these, we would call them condominiums, kind of like brownstones, right? They were attached, joined together units, all 4 floors, multiple rooms, kind of like my house, right? And they were selling for $500 each in 1975. Each one of those is worth more than $1 million now. And it really is a case of, if I knew then what I know now, if I was 20 years old, I would have done whatever it took to have borrowed $5,000, and I would have bought 10 of them. And just got a job doing, who cares, whatever. Sweeping the streets, picking up bottles, doesn't matter. Just pay that basic nut. And then what happens is, get this equity going, and pretty soon you can just sell one and pay the rest of them off. And as all of a sudden, boom, and you just keep them, and all of a sudden you got, whoa, ended up with $9 million out of that, and I didn't really have to do a whole lot. So, but those opportunities are not very common in the United States anymore, because the United States is an older country. It's so well developed. But they do have opportunities like that in Asia, and places like in Taiwan, in particular in places in Southeast Asia, developing countries like Cambodia, Vietnam, yeah. But still, this is the place where I want to be. Opportunities are right here too. So if I wanted to rent, actually I didn't ask, I don't think I did. I don't think I asked Wenwen how much her place was, but take care, Rob. Thank you so much. But do you guys remember Dennis? My friend Dennis, who had the bar over there, where other side of the highway near Andreas. You guys remember Dennis, right? Dennis told me that the rent on that room, there's a main room, a restroom in the back, and a room off the side, kind of like a little office. That was $600 for that place. $600. Now, what does that mean for the average business owner? Well, let me give you an idea. From the beer company, you can get a keg of their premium beer for about $2,500, $2,300 NT dollars. So you're talking about $70 for a keg of beer. And so you pour, a 500, that's a half liter, 500 milliliter big mug of this beer, and you can sell it for 100 NT. And suddenly you see can make some money doing that. Now, it seems like small money, but remember, your overhead for the room is $600. $600 a month. And you spent $70 on a keg of beer that's going to pay for itself, and probably the room too. And you start to realize, why the heck am I kicking myself trying to do this in the States with their liquor laws and all these restrictions and, you know, ridiculous amounts of rent, and yeah. Which is why there are far more people leaving the United States and other Western countries by droves, because they just want to get rid of, they want to get away from these restrictions. Mike, I'm using Prism Live Studio, and we're also broadcasting in stereo. And YouTube is a good platform. I'm also using their ultra low latency mode, which means that the comments are coming, you know, pretty quickly. I think the comments are about 7 seconds or so. Not quite like Periscope, which was instantaneous, but 7 or 8 seconds is okay. Yeah, that's not too long, not too far. And with the addition of Prism, I got the Prism Live Studio, so I can, you know, I can add whatever kind of graphics that I want. If I want to put my little Taiwan Live TV coffee cup up here or something like that, I can do whatever I want. Show my favorite friends that have been here in Taiwan, since we got the studio. So, well, native Periscope was bad, but right now I am simulcasting on Periscope right this second, and if you look at the Periscope stream, it will look better because it's RTMP encoding. It's not using the Periscope native app. I haven't used the Periscope native app since, gosh, I can't remember. I can't remember the last time I used it. So, but yeah. Not to admit, YouTube, as far as, you know, the quality of the product that they present, YouTube really does a very, very good job. In my opinion, they screwed some other things up, and I would rather that they do some things differently. I'm also, excuse me, not streaming in 1080. I'm streaming in 720. It's still HD, but given, you know, the nature of mobile internet and just the way things are, so I think, yeah. But you see what I mean? It looks better on Periscope than it would if I was using the Periscope app natively. That's what I mean. But to me, the jump from 720 to 1080 is not so big. It's just, you know, it's a little, and you could say, okay, well, it's double, but we don't perceive it as being double. But as soon as, you know, like the connection in this area gets better, I can certainly stop downscaling it, you know. So where Dave lives in Japan, the places that he goes have a really, really strong signal. He's got 5G. He goes, you know, full 1080. And so Prism, excuse me, actually will stream in 4K 60. But you better pretty much have a wired Ethernet, you know, gigabit connection. I mean, that's just, that far exceeds the capability of 4G. My phone's 4G. I could, of course, get a 5G Wi-Fi box and Wi-Fi to my phone. But in this neighborhood, there isn't any 5G. And my wife and I went over to the, because we, when iVideo.com decided to cancel our arrangement, it's coincidentally about the time that we renegotiated our mobile phone contracts. And we're in the Jubei office, and we said, we live in Hukou in the industrial park, and they said, we won't get there for 2 years. So no, I mean, let me qualify that. Might get rolled out in the major cities, Taipei, Taichung, and Kaohsiung, yeah, all rolled out. Podunk, not here. Which is bizarre. See, this is the industrial park. There's something really interesting. There's two things really interesting about this industrial park. I mean, besides the fact that we're growing so much, there are so many new factories. In fact, they opened up a new section of the industrial park. There are 4 new factories I never saw before that are going up because all this stuff's coming out of China. People are ticked off China. They don't want anything to do with China. It's a break free from the regime and all this stuff, right? It's all coming to Taiwan. But we don't have 5G here. That's where all the engineers are, man. This is crazy. There's German, Swiss, and any other kind of nationality engineers that you can imagine walking around here, okay? The other thing they don't have is a hotel. My company, we do bike parts, right, for one thing, and one of my bike parts customers was in Taipei, and he said, "Yeah, I got to go down to Hukou. Can I meet with you?" I said, "Yeah." And I went over to get him. He was actually working on he's doing some stuff with a company making handlebars. It's right down the street from my house. But the fact is, he couldn't stay in a hotel down here because there isn't any hotel. I never understood that. This is where people come to visit factories to look at their production and to see what they're doing. There's no hotels. But no, it is. But we asked them, and they said it would be more than a year. Okay, and that was in, I'm going to say that was November. Okay, just this past November, so not so long ago. That would be over a year before they would get 5G here in the industrial park, and that just blows me away because this is a high technology place, and I mean, they're like Panasonic is here for most of plastics. Giga Storage is right over here. Rytech is over there. The CD guys, the wafer spinners, they do wafer spinning here. Like all these Filipino guys are working here because they read English. Because all the quality control stuff from all these companies is written in English. And most of the Filipinos are experienced in clean room protocols. That's the kind of stuff they're doing here, and it's 4G. I don't know. I don't make the rules. But it just doesn't make any sense. So, Taiwan 4G is darn good. And in my early days of Periscope, I had a 3G phone, right? I had a 3G SIM card. And John Ho came to see me, and remember the interview that John Ho did with Tony Lin and I, right, up in the factory? About a week before, John said, "Would you mind going up there and doing a private scope with me? I want to see what kind of, connection." I said, no, not at all. So I went up there, and he said, "Well, it's pretty good." I said, "Yeah, but it's 3G." And he was like, "Oh, well, that's really, really good for 3G." I said, "Yep. Unfortunately, in this area where Tony's factories, that's all you're going to get is 3G." But that's okay because back in those days, Periscope was 420p anyway, so that's okay. But now that area, is 4G, and I've done some streams from Tony's factory, subsequent to that it had been just fine. So I need to do some more factory stuff. I need to do some more factory streams. But it does attract trolls. I start getting these OSHA trolls, you know, and I start getting people talking about slave labor, and they don't know what they're talking about. They're just parroting, you know, somebody said something talking about China. Because you guys remember the time I was at the Jubei night market, and a woman came on, and she called herself something like, I don't know, like power vegan or something like that. Ridiculous, you know. Got this chip on her shoulder, and right away she's like, you know, where's the dog? And I said, no, this is Taiwan. You're talking about the you know, the Yulin festival. And she had the nerve to say, oh, it's all the same. Well, it just doesn't fly with me. It doesn't work with me. You can't generalize with people. People are individuals. You can't say, oh, just because they're this, and plug something in, you know, color, religion, ethnicity, whatever. You know, this equals that. It doesn't work with me. I'm not going to let you get away. I'm not going to let you get away with that. But when you show a factory, you kind of invite those people. Because I did a story on my blog about a company who was doing bicycle frames for TW Vents back when, before TW Vents got sold. I have a TW Vents recumbent trike, and some people from some of the recumbent forums asked me to go there and ask questions and do an interview and stuff, which I did. And I took a bunch of pictures, and I showed some very sophisticated TIG welding on aluminum and MIG welding on chrome moly, and some Swiss site scraped my photos and referred to these Taiwan workers as sweat robots, you know, like slave labor. And I'm like, well, that guy drove here to BMW, and the other guy's got a Mercedes. Like, what are you talking about? You know, so, I mean, not everybody, not everybody's a slave, and not everybody's a racist. Oh my God, I'm so sick of hearing this. Yeah. I deal with that sometimes, you know. And you can always tell when people are asking questions, they have a preconception in mind. They're looking for a problem. They're looking for something, you know, to complain about. But so in Taiwan, my company that does production, excuse me. How do we pay? It is. And you can just cut that off. It's ridiculous to stereotype, and you just put a period right there. But yeah, without even having a clue, a person wouldn't be even qualified to talk about it, right? But people ask me, like, one of the questions when I did this story was how much do they pay their workers? And I said, well, I'm not going to tell you that. Because you're from Switzerland, and their wage is not going to be as high. And so if I tell you what their wage is, you're going to claim that we're treating them like slaves, but you don't understand they're paying 50% less than you for everything else, you know, except the car. And the guy has enough money to pay 3 times the import duty. I mean, I went to look at a Nissan GTR back in 2016, and the reason I didn't buy it was it's in the United States they're about 120,000 US dollars, right? But in Taiwan they're 250,000. It's $250,000. And I said to my wife, I said, it doesn't matter if we can do it or not. I'm not gonna. It's stupid. It's just a principle thing. People got money here, you know. And the other thing too is when you enter into a contract with somebody to work for them, you have the right to say no. It's not enough. If somebody else comes up and said, okay, I'll do it for less, then you have a choice to make. You can say, okay, well, I don't want to do it for that, and then don't. But don't complain about it. If you want the job, then you got to lower your price. But what we do is we pay what people ask. Simple. I don't run the factories anyway, so. But yeah, there's money to be made. But there's so much more money to be made if you're just honest with people and you treat them, you know, like dignified human beings. That's all people want. Is they want dignity. They want to be able to make their own decisions and have enough money to, you know, take care of their family and maybe buy some presents, have some fun, things like that. So, yeah. So this is Taiwan. This isn't the oppressive regime on the other side of the strait. So what do you guys think of my hair now? Because I was wearing it down, you know, in the front, right? It was great to catch up with you too. Thanks, Mike. I was wearing my hair down to the front. You know, I had my Russell Crowe look, you know. And one day I started looking at it and I said, you know, I'm going to get me some hair wax. And I started waxing it. And all of a sudden that song, I started going, no, Werewolf of London. And his hair was perfect. And I was like, that was ridiculous. But seriously, what do you guys think? Is this a good look for me now? I mean, and you guys got to tell me the truth, okay? Because seriously, I don't know. Is it too thin? Because I did know a guy. Well, thank you, Coco. I did know a guy in the States, right? And his hair was thin. He was a musician. He was a player, and he's a musician. And he combed his hair up like this, and he waxed it, but you could see through it. You know, it was so like there wasn't nothing. It was like almost nothing there. So, but I trying to, you know, just this is kind of like, well, Ken Rod inspired me. If you really want to know, Ken Rod inspired me. Kind of the Ken Rod look a little bit. But this is kind of like that story that I told you guys, right? With the and Coco, you got good taste. You know, I trust your judgment. But I told you a story about that guy who, when he did the hair, he kind of made it look like the bow of a ship. You know, like it was like kind of like. Really, it's hard to do looking in this thing, but kind of did like a, you know. Kind of like that. Well, that's a very good question. About the waifu. The waifu, she's Taiwanese. So, the only thing she would tell me is if she doesn't like it. Wouldn't tell me she does like it. Wouldn't tell me if it looks good. It would only tell me if it looks bad. And the only thing she said to me today was, she said in Chinese, it's too long, you got to cut it. And I said, yeah, but I'm combing it back now. She says, yeah, but it's too high. But I said, but look at the sides. I think the sides, I think the back are okay. But she said, no, it's too tall. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I think the Fonz would say it was okay, but. Yeah, I think maybe she does. So what I might do, the other thing though, is that, you know the flat top, right? The military haircut, the flat top, that's real popular in Taiwan. Yeah, it does. It does. I got to be careful. I could look like a bum on the street, really quick. But you know, Coco, the thing about my hair is is I'll get it cut and it's too short. My body's like, oh, it's too short. And then it'll go, oh, it looks better. It's coming in. So what happens is the window between when it looks good and it's too long is like a day. All of a sudden, oh, it's too long. So it'll look good for like 1 or 2 days, and all of a sudden it's too long. I got to get it cut. But the flat top is really popular here. But that's a military haircut, and so if I get a flat top, I know that she'd like it. But you know what I'm saying? Because it could be, if you look at it now, it could be a flat top if it was a little bit shorter. I may just go there and tell them to take just a little bit off. But the girl that I go to see down there, she's a riot. It's the same conversation. How do you want your hair? I don't know. I can't see it. So everybody around me is laughing. I don't have to look at it. My wife has to look at it. So what does your wife say? She doesn't say anything. So the girl goes, don't worry. Trust me. I'll make you look handsome. I go, no, because I'm married. I don't want you to make me look handsome. Just cut my hair. I can't take that kind of risk. And everybody's just cracking up laughing because they never heard anybody talk like this. Especially an old man. They think I'm serious. Oh, don't make me. Oh, no, you can't make me too handsome. Come on, man. I don't want this kind of trouble for my wife. It's me, right? They think I'm serious. So. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Well, if you're looking on mobile, I'd suggest that you exit, kill the app and restart it to try to come back, because we don't want to lose you, Jan. It's been you had such a difficult time excuse me, finding us when we're live. Jan has been leaving messages on previous streams saying she's not getting notifications. I've heard a lot of people talk about this. Some of these big channels, especially the ones that are doing like political commentary, YouTube is unsubscribing people, but I don't think it's happening with me. So okay, excellent, welcome back, excellent. So that's the kind of the funny stuff, the barbershop talk that we have. But I told you guys about the story of the guy that made my hair go in the front like that, right? And it reminded me, because there's something that I used to do when my hair was a lot thicker. I can't do it anymore. Let me see, because this isn't exactly mirror. This is opposite. But what I used to do was I would go like this, and then I would pull it a little bit and drop it. And I would go like this. Let's see if I can do this. And pull it out and drop it a little bit. See? So kind of, it's really hard to do, but you see what I'm saying? But now, one thing about being older, of course, my hair used to go like this, but this part up here, and over here, this fell out. So now I got a widow's peak. So I look like Eddie Munster. And you're not going to be able to unsee that from now on. So I realize that's okay. So it's been a while. So we'll just have to see. Anyway. Now you guys know me, and I've never been very vain about my appearance. In fact, how many times have you seen me, like, the introduction plays, and it's like, you come on, and I'm like, oh man, what's going on? So it's like, okay, what? Okay, you're on. That's cool. So, my wife can watch you and figure out. Maybe, Jan, maybe you could communicate with my wife and get her to tell you what she likes, and maybe you could do it. Because seriously, like I said, I don't have to look at it. So, oh yeah, you know what? There was I told you the story about Eddie Cornelius, and a lot of those guys, gosh, I'm trying to think. Coco, I can't think of the name of that style, but I know some of the gentlemen that I was working with back in those days, they call it a process, I know there was that. I got to get my hair processed. But Eddie Cornelius's hair looked. The only way I can describe it, man, it looked like a piece of French pastry. It was very intricate, and it was kind of folded in like this. I just know it was like the coolest thing I ever saw, and I wish that I had the type of hair that you could do that with. But the pompadour style, that must be like, is that like he had the overhang in the? Yeah. Okay, so he would pull the comb out with the big flourish, and yeah. Now, was that the pompadours? Was that like he had it like hanging over the front like that? Is that what you mean? That is cool, man. There was. Do you remember? Okay, for those of you who are old like us, so you remember in Happy Days, right? So, oh wow, that's cool. Do you remember the time? Now this is Happy Days, right? Where they got the Happy Days, Happy Days, right? And Fonzie goes up to the mirror and he goes like this, and he's like, because he doesn't need to comb his hair. He's like, gets ready to comb it. He's like. That should be my new introduction. That's hilarious, man. Can you believe we're actually talking about styling hair and me in the same sentence? Me, I used to, like I said, I used to look like Russell Crowe in Gladiator. My hair would be straight down across the front like a Roman gladiator, you know. So we get tired of things, and these are simple little things that we can do just to change things up, you know, and make things different and have a little fun, and so yeah. But as long as our significant other is okay with it. That's the thing. That's important. So my wife says it's too long on the front. So I mean on the top. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go back to that girl, and I'm going to say to make it a little shorter than, you know, leave the sides in the back. The sides of the back are okay, but I'm just going to take, you know, just不用这么高. Don't want it quite so high, and see what she says. But here's what I want you guys to tell me, okay? Because we gotta be honest. We've all seen people, you know, men with the comb over. And I told you about the guy who had like the hair, he combed it really up high and you could see through it, so it was so thin. I'm depending on you, my loyal followers, whom I love and trust implicitly, to tell me when I look ridiculous. Tell me when it's time for me to go with the buzz cut, to do the Phil Collins, just because I don't have enough hair left. Will you promise me that, please? Promise me. Because I see guys, right, my age at the airport, you know, and they're big circular bald spot, you know, and a ponytail. Okay. Now, man, that's cool. I don't have a problem with it. I understand it. You know, I'm a man. I know how it is. But I wouldn't do it. You know? And so, like a friend of mine back in the States, Dave, he was a young man. So, you know, okay, well, thanks. A young friend of mine, a man I knew back in the States, his name was Dave, you know, and he was in his 20s. He started going bald. He got, you know, and he started getting up. So he just put the trimmer on, like, you know, 1 millimeter, and that was it. And it looked fine. It looked good. And he didn't look like he's trying to hang on to it, you know. I just don't want to look like I'm trying to hang on to it. But I realize, you know, for my age, I do have a considerable amount of hair, and it is, you can see, it is getting thin, but it's not like, I don't think it's that bad yet. Actually, what I think I need to do is go like with my phone and go and take a picture of the top of my hat. So, you know. Are you, like, you're saying you're at where my friend Dave was? Yeah. See, I had a talk with Dave about it, and I thought he looked great, because I thought, you know, like, his hair was trimmed, and because it was trimmed so short, it was hard to see the areas where the hair wasn't as filled in. Because the truth is, you could take somebody with a complete full head of hair and give them a buzz cut, and you're going to see scalp shine through it. It's just the way it is. because it's so short, right? And so if you got an area where you've got, you know, less hair and you got more shine, if you cut the rest of it short, it kind of looks like it's uniform. So yeah, nothing wrong with that. Well, here's the thing. Remember, Matthew, one of the most desirable men was, number one on the Troopers, there you go. One of the most desirable men was Jean-Luc Picard, right? So just remember, you can always be Captain Picard, right? So, yeah. There you go. I know what you mean, Jan. You know, about people not believing, but it's about what you do. You know, and you guys know that I supplement, and I'm adding more supplements all the time. I think I broke 30 the other day. I'm up to 30 supplements. I'm always adding new supplements. But you know, it's also about your outlook and so forth. But it takes you until you get a certain age to realize, excuse me, that when you're talking about people and considering all the factors about people, that looks just isn't really, I mean, you have to be attracted to a person. Okay, there has to be an attraction. Excuse me, but it, you know, there's so much more to consider about a person than just looks. And, you know, what I got to admit, when I was on the road and I was 20 years old, I was motivated by looks. You know, I'm not motivated by looks at all. Seriously. I don't care what anybody looks like. I care about their character. If my wife passed away or something, you know, and I found myself, you know, single, I really wouldn't be so concerned about a person's looks. It's about character, you know. You have to live with this person. And what do they bring with them along, you know, and are they honest and trustworthy? There's just so many more things to consider. And it's something that young people don't get, and I didn't get, and I certainly understand that. So sometimes I get trolls, and you've seen a couple of them, you know. And I remember it was on one chat room. I think it was on Black Planet. This is a long time ago. And one girl says to me, "You're too old." I said, "Too old for what?" And she says, "You're too old to talk to me." I said, "Okay, well, this is my chat room. Why don't you leave?" But what a thing to say. You're too old to talk to me. Okay. But yeah. But you know what? That was, what, 22 years ago? So, maybe someone said that to her. So you never know. See, the great part about it is we're locked into time. So however old you are with everybody else, you know, that's it. You're all moving together. So it's not like some of us are moving and, you know. So when these trolls, and fortunately I don't get a lot of them, you know, in my live streams, but I get some of them in real life. And it doesn't bother me at all. It's, people talk about, oh, you know, you're so old and all this stuff. Because here's the thing. I just tell them, I said, look, all you have to do is just not die. You're going to be like me. And they're like, huh? I said, well, that's right. Just stay alive. And you will be like me someday. I was young too. You have trouble imagining that. But oh yeah, I was your age, and I thought old people suck too. And now I realize how wrong I was. And you're going to realize that too. I may not be around, but you'll remember, oh yeah, I was a real jerk to those people back then. So all you have to do is stay alive. So yeah, don't let it bother you, because you know what? Their time is coming. right? The time is coming. Oh my goodness, we've been on for an hour and 26 minutes. I know Dave loves those long replays because Dave likes to listen to MJ in the background while he's working. Real talk, yeah. We try to do real talk, you know. So, in the old days, it was more rock and less talk, but nowadays we like real talk, yeah. But don't get me started on the stupidity of some of these things that are going on with, you know, in America with the change of administration and the. I gotta be careful. You guys know me. You know my love for people and when I teach Phoenix, you know, because she laughs. People talk about racism, and she's like, "What do you mean? There's only one race." I'm like, "That's my girl. Yeah, human being. We're all humans. There's nothing else. That's it." But it just seems so weird that recently, and this makes me, and I'm telling you, man, I get physically like sick when I think about this stuff. Like I'll take one of my anti-anxiety pills to keep my head, so I get dizzy. They start talking about segregation again, and I'm like, that is just so incredibly wrong. Will you stop this? This makes me physically ill. That some of these commencements now are having, you know, commencements based on different ethnicities or even now economic strata. And I'm like, when did equality equal segregation? Oh my gosh, all these people who fought and died for this, just like you just completely invalidated their whole life and their death by reversing all of that. And then the Gender Equality Act. And I'm sorry, I got to be careful because I'm going to be branded as homophobic or transphobic, and I'm not at all. And you guys know I'm not. But gender equality is not the same as gender alike. We already have gender equality, don't we? It's illegal in the United States and practically every country in the European Union to pay a person less than another person strictly because their gender is different. So I have gender equality, but since when is a biological male allowed to go into the girl's bathroom? And that's legal. See, that person would be called a pervert. Okay? Right? Okay. I mean, seriously. If there was some guy that wanted to go in the girl's bathroom, wouldn't you call that person a pervert? I mean, that's what we call them. We used to like kick their butt. We find some guy doing that in high school. Hey, what are you doing in the girl's bathroom? Get over here. We beat him up. What are you doing? So these people are going crazy. So what they've done is they've eliminated the women's rights, okay, that have been garnered over the last, decades, and then religious freedom too, because churches are part of the organizations now that have to allow people who identify. So this is just. I said to somebody the other day, they said, "You're just an old fat man." I go, wait a minute. I'm an Olympian in women's sports. I identify as a female. I'm a power lifter. I could get a gold medal. But isn't that sad? So yeah, there you go. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore. It gets me depressed. But there's just some really, really, really weird things going on. And these are problems that we solved 50, 60 years ago. And all those leaders and all those people who made sacrifices, like See, in my school, excuse me, in my daughter's school, they're not talking about that. My daughter brought home a book. She goes, Papa, guess who we read about today? I said, who? She said, Rosa Parks. And I dropped my phone. I said, sit over here. Get over here, sit down. Show me this. I said, this really happened. And you know why it happened, right? And you know it's important. And you know why it's important. And she knew everything. And she got it right, because that's what they teach in the schools here in Taiwan. They're not teaching this outside, this weird stuff, you know, and this critical race theory that is just going to tear people apart. That is a Soviet tactic. When my friend Michael Goodkin, when I met my friend Michael Goodkin, I told this story before. You guys remember this? I asked him, because I heard about this, and I asked him, all the Soviet satellite states, all the different states, Kazakhstan, I mean, I can't even remember all of them. They all had prejudices, or I mean, the word is stereotypes. They all had stereotypes. Like I would say, what about these people? And he would say, like, they smell like garlic. What about these people? Oh, they're unshaven. What about these people? They're lazy. But that prevents those people from seeing the commonality in each other and gathering together and then revolting against the state. And so what they're doing now in the United States is they are fostering this kind of Soviet-style segregation, because they don't want people of different backgrounds and ethnicities to gang together and oppose the government. Now, fortunately, the Taiwanese in general, the Taiwanese people in general, won't stand for that in their schools. So I really don't have to worry about this kind of weird, liberal, ultra-liberal, stupid kind of education taking over the schools and basically poisoning my daughter, you know, and so she thinks differently than how I'm teaching her. I am her parent, and I have the right to teach her my values, and my values are simple. God created everybody equal. End of story. That's it. If he doesn't view people differently, we don't. That's it. There's no discussion. There just isn't. But what about no? What about no? No. And even if they don't worship God and believe the same way that we do, they have the right to do that. Because God doesn't force everybody to worship him. So you can't either. So that's free will. So end of story. No discussion. That's it. Welcome back, Jan. Fist bump. So that's it. That's the end of the discussion. And that's how my daughter believes. So when my daughter sees people, she doesn't see these different things. The stuff she sees is like, oh, Papa, he's smoking. We should help him. That's what she says. We should tell him that that's not good. So that's the kind of person that the legacy I'm trying to leave, you know, with her. So I'm not permitting critical race theory or any of this other just bizarre Soviet era kind of stuff. You got a call from London, okay, to infiltrate my family because it's wrong. So there you go. Bag rooms. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. So that's about as political as I'm going to get. And you guys know me, and I think that's why you follow me. And I think that's why many of you have come to meet me in person, because I'm very clear, you know, about my values. And it's just, it hurts me when I see the condition of the human family. It hurts me enough to make me shed tears sometimes about what I see on the news and YouTube, and people that with just this hate, and it's learned, it's taught, it's not natural. We do not know these things. unless we're taught. And that's the sad part, is somebody's teaching them. So I'm making sure that what I'm teaching is diametrically opposed to that. That is just that. Like I said, I get physically ill. I'm getting out of here. It's getting late. What time is it? 0008. It's 8 minutes after, midnight. And I have been on for an hour and 36 minutes. That's a long time. You guys take care. Thank you so much. I love all of you so much. And Coco, it's so good to see you. And Coco, I've been missing you. So say hi to your husband, please, for us. And yeah, get in touch, okay? I'd like to have you come back to the group, if you'd like to sometime. Yeah, thank you very much. And you too, Matthew, and Jan, and Mike, and Ken, and Rob, and J-Boy was on, and who else? Everybody, of course, Coco. I may have forgotten. And of course, don't worry about our Periscope numbers, because Periscope is out of here at the end of this month. But it's good seeing you too. Thanks so much. And yeah, say hi to your husband. And Coco, I'm going to say this. It ain't the same without you. No. We're missing the food photos, okay, and the videos. Not just, I don't mean just that. That would be super visual, but I'm just saying, seriously, okay? And yeah, we all love you and we miss you so, but yeah. But you got to do what you got to do, okay? And I'm not trying to, arm wrestle you. But seriously, oh, by the way, you see he's got a back brace. This guy worked so hard. He's got this back brace on. It's got aluminum in it. He's in pain all the time, but he's here every day working and he never complains about it. This guy's amazing. So I'm going to show you the new place that he's at, and as soon as he's ready, I'll be in the new place, and maybe even by Thursday I'll have to check with him. But yeah, so you know how to get in touch with me, Coco. So, and for those of you who don't, let me just do this real quick. I'm just going to show you the email for the show's late night down the bottom. Late night at TaiwanLive.tv, and it's right over here. Late night at TaiwanLive.tv, and you guys can send me a message. You want to join our line group? I will send you a link, and I'll temporarily allow link joining because I had to disable it. So, yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Still online. Still the same. And I'm still on Instagram and Twitter and email and all that. So yeah, nothing changed. So you can, yeah. You'll be able to find me, and also Skype too. Remember, so we got the Skype call. So yeah, I'm Taiwan Live TV, one word on Skype even. So yeah, got no excuse. You can find us no matter what. So you guys take care. I'm gonna go home and take a long rest. I'm tired. You guys take care. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you next time. And in honor of the old days, we're going to do this. Remember this? Bye-bye. That was great. Thank you. Take care now.